Alright, today I'm going to talk about what makes the Ibanez 540p3 Genesis great. This guitar has a crazy shape. It can be off-putting at first, but the shape does grow on you the more you look at it, and it does have some advantages. I'm going to discuss what those are in this video, along with other good things about this guitar, and I'm going to use it in a few sample songs. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Ibanez or any of the brands shown. This is my own personal guitar. For more information on this beyond this video, be sure to check out the review I did. I demonstrate all the tones you can get out of this. I've also used this guitar in a guest solo for Consolus's Donut Plains cover. Now, let's begin. Let's jump into what makes this guitar great, and let's talk about the shape first. I found this guitar is really great for playing sitting down. This type of offset body here where the bridge is, where the forearm carve is, it feels so comfortable to play seated in the standard position like this. It feels the most natural of all the guitars I have, just to sit like this, play, the bridge is in the right place, and the volume pot is in the perfect place to turn on and off, all the way up, all the way down, between takes, or when you're taking a break from your practice. You can also sit with it in the classical style. The location of the output jack makes it just work. You don't need to get any kind of angled cables or anything of the sort. And of course, playing standing up is perfectly fine too. Next, I want to talk about the quality. This is a made in Japan guitar. It's a Genesis, and I'm happy to report the quality is on par with other Genesises and Prestiges. You've got a resonant body, good components, a quality bridge. You've got a tight grain rosewood fretboard. Doesn't feel rough at all. And of course, great fretwork. You don't cut your hand on any of it. Nothing has broken or failed, and the setup has held well. The switch is pretty solid. It's a nice 5-way switch. The volume potentiometer works without any issues. No wiring has failed. I let the guitar acclimate when I first got it, then set it up, and that setup has held, even after changing strings. Overall, it's a nice solid guitar. Low action is possible. I did get that 1mm at the 14th fret measurement I like so much. Another thing I want to talk about is the weight of the guitar. It feels like it's the perfect weight. For the shape of the body, it's made of basswood. I like basswood. And everything about it, it's the perfect weight to just pick up and play. Even if I'm not going to use the guitar for the main project of the day, I do like to pick it up, play it a little bit, and that's great because then I get more ideas playing more guitar, which means I can write more. While I haven't used this guitar to record some recent songs, it has inspired the riffs for some recent songs. And of course, the different shape does help inspire different play, I find. Maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe I'm just crazy. But back to the weight, it's also a nice weight so that it doesn't weigh on your shoulders for long playing sessions, whether you're playing live on a stage or in front of a camera. Next, I want to talk about the pickups. You have the humbucker rails pickup configuration. While I prefer the humbucker configuration, this is pretty good still. The rails pickup sounds almost like a full humbucker, close enough for my needs. In fact, I'm already liking the sound I get from the cleans of this. And also having a more narrow pickup here, it means you have more room for your pick to dig in. And I know having perfect form and technique means your pick isn't really going too deep into the strings, but we all have those moments of adrenaline, whether you're on stage or you're really trying to nail the part in a recording. I find it's nice to have as little in the way as possible. So the rails has treated me well so far, and then talking about the bridge humbucker, a humbucker in the bridge is my go-to, both for rhythms and for leads. I like the sound of it, and that's for humbuckers in general. I find the one in this guitar, it's good enough. You could replace it, but I don't really feel the need to. It suits my needs. And one more thought on this pickup configuration, it has the rails and the bridge humbucker. It doesn't have any third pickups. It doesn't have any alternate voices or anything. And I like that. I find with all these extra things, for me personally, I don't use any alter switches or coil taps too much or anything like that, second voices. To a point, the more limiting it is, it does help my creativity. All right, let's talk about the looks of this guitar. We touched on the shape, but let's more focus on how it looks, because really, you can't talk about this guitar without talking about how it looks. The oversized lower horn especially is very polarizing. It's the first thing you notice whether you're a guitarist or not. The giant lower horn and the smaller upper horn is completely opposite of the Strat or Super Strat paradigm. So if you care about standing out, this will ensure you do. Maybe it's part of the band image you're trying to have and fit into. The looks of this guitar do have a way of growing on you the more you look at it, because that's what happened to me. At first you'll hate it, then you'll get used to it, and then you'll start to think, oh, well, it's not so bad. And the color schemes are great too. This one is the purple neon. It also comes in the desert yellow and black, of course. I like this one because the color shifts between the purple and the indigo kind of colors. And the black is a little boring, you might argue, for an 80s guitar, but the shape really makes the guitar stand out regardless. And the black hardware really looks great. It really contrasts with either the crazy 80s color you picked or blends in with the black. It doesn't clash. And next I want to talk about the great features on the guitar. You get a thin Ibanez neck. Feels fantastic to play. Not just if you're playing fast, but if you're chording too, playing riffs. The 24 frets are great. It is great to have that range. Great for scale runs, great for tapping. And of course it ensures great access through the 22nd fret. You don't have to always go up to the 24th fret. Granted, these aren't stainless steel frets, which for me personally, I do prefer those, but this is the Genesis line, so that might be a bit out of place on here. If I was speccing out a guitar, I would have stainless steel frets, but I don't hate the nickel silver fretwire material. It's not a deal breaker for me, obviously. Another feature I want to talk more on is the 5-way switch. It does give you plenty of options, not too much. You're not getting 27,000 different tones, but it's great if you need the position 2 or 4. Although check the wiring diagram, the switch positions on the Ibanez website. Position 4 doesn't split any coils from both pickups or anything like that. It puts the neck rails pickups in parallel. I also really appreciate that there's no push-pull potentiometer. I find that when I try to use them in situations where I might be full of adrenaline, I accidentally pull the knob off the potentiometer. I've done that in the heat of the moment many times. Jam sessions, band practices. It's also great that there's only a single volume potentiometer. I basically never use the tone pot. The only time I do use it is on my Stratocaster when I'm in the bridge pickup position. I have it modified so the tone is a master tone, and just when I need to tame the treble off the bridge pickup a little bit. But on all other guitars, I never use a tone pot. So it's great that it isn't on here, there isn't one. Less complication means less things can go wrong, less things to break. And the position of the controls is great too. The volume isn't too close. The switch is out of the way so you don't accidentally hit it. Way back in the day, I used to pull out the tone potentiometers from my guitars and move the volume to where the tone was. This guitar here is a remnant of that. This is my 2013 RG655. You can see I've moved the volume down here and the tone is gone. And I've tightened up my technique just a little bit so I don't have to do that anymore. But it's still great to see that this doesn't have that extra control. So some overall thoughts. Could this be an only guitar? I think it's possible. At the core, it's a typical Ibanez Superstrat. You know, it has a floating bridge, 6 strings, thin playable neck, locking nut. Of course, the lower horn, it will get in the way of your hand if you're trying to do thumb behind the neck playing a lot, but it gets in the way less than I expected it to. The pickups, while not the absolute best in the world, they're still usable for recording, for live playing. I haven't felt a strong urge to change them. Really, the main thing stopping me from using this as a primary guitar or as a hypothetical only guitar would be the rarity of them. It's a limited edition release, so I would be pretty devastated if something happened to it or if it got too much playware. If it got broken, stolen, it will become very difficult to replace if I wanted one just like it. Would I want something more modern? Well, in terms of usage, no. This guitar technically has everything I need. It gets me usable tones, it's plenty playable, it has that Ibanez feel, everything I need is all there. Of course, I would prefer stainless steel frets, but the Genesis line doesn't come with that. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't hate this fretwire material here. I could surely make it work. The availability is really what will get me though. I would want something more modern because it would be more readily available. It wouldn't be a limited run. And I know there are limited runs of guitars these days that are modern guitars, but in general, it does feel like there is a big risk taking this anywhere. But what do you think? Do you agree that there are many great things about the 540p3 Genesis, or is this guitar a hard pass for you? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, this is YouTube. I have to say the YouTube things. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it. Check out the socials, join the Discord. If you're looking for something cool to listen to, please consider streaming my music on Spotify and all major streaming services. I have some original music. I do some video game covers. And as always, peace.